Hey guys, it's Brandon. So today we're going to be looking at a picture I took the other day while it was snowing here in Oregon, and we're going to go through and edit this up, look at it, possibly take out some of these footprints over here. It looks like I left my window open, so we'll close that in Photoshop. And then you can see it's snowing here. We weren't able to catch snowflakes as well as I wanted, so we'll go ahead and add those in afterwards just to kind of give the whole picture the feel that it's snowing, even though it is, but we'll just kind of enhance that feel a little bit. I will link all the files that I'm going to be using down below, and you can download them and go step by step through this process using the same files that I am. That way you can mimic what I'm doing and learn how to do this on your own. First thing we're going to do is jump in and start editing this picture, and then we'll jump over to Photoshop and replace the ground over here and close the window and then add in the snow effect. So first thing I'm going to do is jump over here and start at the bottom and go ahead and add my vignette. I usually add -15. We'll set the midpoint about 20. Drop that off just a little bit. Alright. Do our lens corrections. 25 on the noise reduction. Sharpening we'll go ahead and set 60. Okay, for split toning, we'll go ahead and set it to 225. Give it a nice blue tint over the entire image. That looks good. Now I'll go into the tone curve. I did create a tone curve already, kind of a preset. You can see I just bumped the blacks up just a little bit and just a few other adjustments throughout the curve. So that looks good. We can see it before and after right now. I'm going to come back down to the saturation in just a minute after I do these adjustments up here. Just because I want to get all these done, then I'll adjust the colors a little bit how I want them. We're going to go ahead and set clarity to 20. We'll jump the vibrance up to 28. See how it pops the colors a little bit. And we'll just bump the overall saturation up a little bit as well for the colors of the car. Editing my car is a little bit different than editing like a black car, because I can't do a lot of the normal things that I would do while I'm editing a black car. I can't really change hues of different colors in the overall image because my car has a lot of those colors in it. I want to kind of leave the colors of the cars the way they are. So we'll go ahead and add some of these guys here. We'll drop the whites. Raise the shadows. Drop the highlights. A little, leave the contrast about there. A little bit of dehaze. About 10. And we'll go ahead and drop the temperature down to maybe about 37, 50 and cool down the entire image and give it a more blue look overall. So now we can see the before and the after. Next thing I'm going to do is come down to the saturation and fine tune this one. What I'm going to do is bump the reds a little bit, bring out the more reds in the car. Also the oranges on the side. I'm going to take the aquas down. Oh, that is green. Now I'm going to take the aquas down. Take the blues up. And drop these ones just a little bit. Before, after. Alright, grab our gradient filter, drag down from the top. Double click the effect to reset the entire module. And just go ahead and cool it down, maybe -5. And also drop the blacks in the sky around the same. We can see the snow in the sky. The camera caught. It's not too visible. I have it set to f7 and a 4-second exposure. The snowflakes were really small, so it kind of looks like, and they were coming right at me. So it made it kind of hard to take this picture. I had to take my CPL filter off. It was just messing up the whole light, so this was taken without a CPL. You get these nice starburst effects on the lights when you shoot at, higher f-stops, and you shrink the amount of light that's coming in. It gives those lights a cool look in the image when you do that. So now I'm just about done with this edit here. I'm going to go ahead and jump over. Actually, let's go ahead and crop it real quick before we jump over. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up in Photoshop. Go edit in Photoshop. Okay, we have our image open in Photoshop. So I do have 2 masks already created here. I just found these online. They're snow masks. So we're going to go ahead and add these on top of our image to get the snow effect that we want. Let's go over here and duplicate this layer just so we have a backup just in case. So the first thing I'm going to do is take all these footsteps out, just because I think it's going to clean up the image a little bit and give us a nice starting point. First thing I'm going to do is create another image here so that we're not editing directly on top of the picture. I'm going to hit S on the keyboard to bring out our stamp tool and increase the size of my brush a little bit using the right bracket. Left bracket makes it smaller. I'm going to start about right here. Hold down Alt and select a starting point. Then I will go over and start brushing away these footsteps. Now what I'm doing is picking a spot that is identical to what I want to be here. So this spot is nice and open here with no tracks. I'm going to hold down Alt, collect a starting point, move over, and you can see that it's previewing what's going to be put there. So I'm going to line it up with the shadow. Click down, drag, and it's going to copy everything from the cursor on the left to the cursor on the right. I'm going to do that one more time and drag up and do that. Now we can drag from here and keep going over, and we'll do this and work all around the entire shadow that's on the ground. Okay, now we have the footsteps out of the picture. You can see the before and after. I'm going to go ahead and address this window here that I forgot to roll up. So for that, I'm going to create one more layer. Click L and get the lasso tool and kind of just create a rough outline. Connect them together. Now we have a selection here. I'm going to go ahead and click M, drag down, click on the layer of the picture, Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and we have a decent replica of what needs to be there. So what we can do next, we can go back in here and clean up these edges here. So we, on this same image, we'll go ahead and hit S to get the clone stamp tool as well, and then clone in these windows here. This piece is so small and hidden in the shadows that we don't have to get that perfect. You'll never even notice it. I just kind of want to do a quick fix. so that it didn't look like the window was down. So for that, we'll leave it there. So the next thing we want to do is add in the snow overlay. So it is snowing, but we're going to add a little bit more snow in the foreground to give it that feel that we're kind of right in the middle of a snowstorm. So I'm going to go ahead and go over. I have this opened already. We're going to Command A, Command C, and drop it over here and paste it in. I'm going to hit Command T and bring up the transform tool and transform this so it is just as big or bigger than our picture. So I'm going to go ahead and put that about there. I'm going to go ahead and click on this layer and change the blend mode to screen, and it's going to put these snowflakes into the picture. So just like that, it looks a little bit fake. So we're going to go ahead and drop the opacity on this down to around 20. Now to give it that extra feel that we're looking for more realistic snow, it doesn't really have a motion blur, so we're going to add a motion blur to it. So we're going to click on this layer, go up to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur. So here's your angle here. So the snow in the picture looks like, we want it to look like it's more coming towards us, so we'll go like more of a 90-degree angle. So it's coming down, and set the distance 35 pixels. You can see preview before and after. It gives it more of the look that the camera caught it in motion. So we'll go ahead and leave it. Let's go ahead and change it to 30, and we'll go ahead and leave it at that. So now we'll go ahead and grab this one. It's more of an up close bokeh of some snow. We'll add this one just in the foreground as well, just a little bit. Command T, transform it. And we'll make this one really big right here, right in the front of the camera. So we'll go ahead and change this blend mode to screen as well. And add the motion blur, filter, blur, motion blur. And then set that. And this opacity will probably take way down to around 10, maybe a little bit less even. Okay. So we can group all these together and see our before and after image in Photoshop. I'm going to make one adjustment here and raise this one just a little bit up, and drop this one just a little bit too. And I'm overall happy with this image, so we're going to go ahead and Command S or File Save, and it will save this picture and automatically transfer back into Lightroom for us to make our final adjustments and export. Okay, we're back in the Lightroom, and we can see our edited picture here and our picture before we sent it to Photoshop. I'm going to bump the clarity on this picture just a little bit more. Take the highlights down just a touch. Whites up. And really, I'm just going to leave that picture at that. So now we cleaned it up a little bit, take the footsteps out, added some snow in the foreground to give it that look that we're kind of in a snowstorm. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and leave it at this. And hopefully you guys were able to learn a little bit here on, removing objects from a picture, adding in a snow effect. So all these pictures are down in the description, once again, so you can download them and try them for yourself. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment or send me a message on Instagram, and I'll be happy to help you out.